partner, and she was writing poetry. We had a fight one night, and I said, anybody can write fucking poetry, it's not fucking hard.
One glass of house red to do an introduction for a poet. I'm a twice published author, for fuck's sakes.
And I started writing poetry into MySpace, and it started getting hits, lots of hits actually. I think one of them had something like 600, one poem. So I thought, oh, I told you anybody could do it, it's not that hard.
Without day, no night. Without sun, no moon. No midnight,
You're going to find some new material.
Absolutely.
Right. Alright.
Who is a poet? A poet is one who writes verses, and one who does not write verses. A poet is one who throws off fetters, and one who puts fetters on himself. A poet is one who believes, and one who cannot bring himself to believe. A poet is one who has told lies, and one who has been told lies.
One who has been inclined to fall, and one who raises himself. A poet is one who tries to leave, and one who cannot leave.
This is the death of art, and it ain't pretty, hell no, it's beautiful. More beautiful than a shot of whiskey straight, and that shudder that sears me after. Oh, yeah. This is the death of art, and it's a little death, which is to say it's bigger than the whole damn nation. It's going on, and we're on to the run.
looking into you, I know myself for what I am now, and well may go. I travel this road.
But then I kind of realized you can take any kind of long form and condense it down into 5, 6, 7, 12, 15 lines. And you can make your writing shorter and sharper with poetry, and you can say more in a few lines than it takes a whole book to say.
So, you can shout as well. Everybody, give it up for Terry. Yeah, here's the deal, okay? Cooper Clark met Billy Bragg, and Son of Sam had a big black dog.
And heaven was green in Robin's dream. The New York Dolls were at Max's too.
Yeah, there's bloody Union Jacks at the 100 Club. Some safety pins and white riot squads.
And London was calling, burning, falling because they used the NME.
No, man, they used anarchy. And Sid Nancy was shooting veins.
By the midnight sounds of the subway trains, as the tabloids screamed about dirty fuckers.
Yeah, those dirty fuckers. Because no one wanted babies that looked like that. Die, little baby, in a lavatory, screaming fucking bloodiness.
Well, it went right through the Jubilee to the Virgin Hippies den. And that was no fucking fun. Not now, not then.
Definitely not then. I mean, a lot of them wanted to be sedated. Too many problems with being underrated.
And there was shock jock value and androgyny, blitzkrieg bops but no misogyny.
Fucking Studio 54 was a cokehead's floor, and the Pistols in America got shown the door.
But they all look pretty vacant in their granddad's kit, doing the pogo, not giving up fucking shit.
Poor old Dee, he dropped out. Johnny got the boot, you know, but he never got the loot.
And Joey fell apart and he got a broken heart. Oh. Well, he went on holiday and climbed the Berlin Wall.
And poor old Debbie, she was hanging on that telephone, waiting for EMI or AMN or anyone to call.
Joe got too much rope and ended up dead. Sid killed Nance and it went to his fucking head.
So, do you want to take a walk?
Do you want to go outside?
Do you want to go and buy me some
Chinese rock?
Man, we're all living on Chinese frog.
My name is Teri-Louise Kelly. I'm a transgender poet, and it's hard just being a transgender person and getting up on the stage and having to look one thing and open your mouth and sound like another is not easy to overcome. It was many and many a year ago in Kingdom by the Sea that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee.
Terry and I first connected through the feast writing competition because Terry won the competition one year, and I believe that encouraged you along your writing journey. And then, then she's gone on to have this massive success where she's now getting emails from all around the world from people who have read her books. And she's also the first Australian author to have something to do with 5 books at once on Kindle and ebooks. Is that? Yeah, cool. Got that right. And now Terry's on the Feast Literature Committee with me as well. So she's, she started off, participating through a competition, and then she's gone on to be very successful, and now she's giving back to the community. So please welcome Teri-Louise Kelly.
Well, I thought I'd read some poetry from Manuel. This one's called Always Crashing in the Same Boat. The scene is always a game, minus extras plus gratuity, while decent folk go about righteous business blowing religions that ain't fucking mine, and I can screw and piss and shit and fucking lust. Aerobic capacity remains as mental electricity diminishes. They sell me camel nitrate up with Ajax, and if I had to choose, I'd take lethal injection out of it. I grew up in England. It was Orwell's England. That England Orwell almost wrote about before he died of tuberculosis. Before the National Health Service killed him. And this is a poem from that era. It's called GBH. It's about living in London. The primal stream rebel yell. The underground is cold and dark at 2 a.m. on a fucking Friday morning. They look at you. You can only smell them, and they can smell you too. They all have dead eyes, long black coats, the look of grievous bodily harm personified for a street dictionary. And there are no fuzz to be found, no transport police, and no fucking transportation. I'm thinking circle. It smells like infirmary, but I don't move because I'm frozen to my spot. And they never call you boy, like the song says. They always address you in the feminine pronoun, and they call you cunt. What are you looking at, cunt? And they don't move and you don't move, and the sum of all the parts is somehow way less than the fucking hole you've dug yourself into. Smiling does not work. Occupation does not work. Fuck the gap and the gold rail. I'm thinking suicide. What are you looking at, pussy? They stick to the feminine address. I stand my ground. I'm thinking there are 91 steps up because the escalation device isn't working. And they look right and I look right. And I bolt, man, I bolt in the masculine present because I can take 91 steps faster than most cunts can take me. Occupy Perth.
No? Oh shit. Man. Well, my lover became a heroin addict, so yeah. It's called Self-Deprecating Issue Little Star. So the mud cake finally slid right into the Mississippi Delta. As the pink hog's breath grew stronger on our necks, you went down on one knee, ready to bend convention to a will unified in porcelain boudoirs. From there we went everywhere, she said, cloistered in a two-world universe of madness, totally inclusive and exclusive, with the strut, APO's words all recorded alas, put on the permanent record, and too many mattresses cut jugular. What I don't grasp right now is whether I exercise me from the photograph or you. The loser's manual seems obsolete. I separate memories and messages, striving to keep them permanent, not merely meaningless snippets of tapestry. This is the terminus, after all, the itch of the umbilical cord infected, scabbing, and we scratched it clean off. No more prisoners of our own illusions, no more mirrors cracked, no more biographical love. I do believe that I'm done, that you're in the box.
Bad now, you be bad.
You look like a Manson family, don't you? I feel like Charlie Manson.
Love you, Charlie!
We love you, Charlie! It is a game, us, me, versus the world, and stupid morality, conformity, necessity. Is that spelled right, Omega? The insatiable quest of, sane, stuck track, non-skipping vertebrae. And I see the final solution with glass-bottomed clarity, magnified, the wild card in the deck. It looks like the Joker, ergo it must be we. And I think that you, compadre, will see, allegorically, that when all else fails is undoubtedly, there is always that doubt-marked exit I can step through. I will. Wait, it hasn't finished, okay? Get rejoined, rewired, made straight in the factory, man. Because I tell you now, I'm getting old, tired, wasted off with all this heartless, soulless crap you call life. And what we are in the end, and what you are to tell me one day they will regret.
Woo!
Who wants a CD?
Yeah!
No, I want a CD. Come on, take one, Thomas. Anybody else want a CD? I'm giving them away for free. Recorded in Adelaide last year. All the best spoken word poets in Adelaide. CD, anybody? Thank you. One more. Beautiful, baby. Thank you. Good night. I'm going to read you some non-gay poetry. I think you've had enough fists, asses, fucks, cunt whips, dogs. 3 in a bed. In response to your query as to whether Ezra Pound is still on the submissions board, I replied that he most certainly is, in spirit. As you are no doubt aware, Blah Blah has a reputation for traditional, inspiring verse, penned by some of the nation's leading literary pens. That work, which you will have seen had you taken the time to perhaps peruse a past issue, does not in whole or part contextualise vaginoplasty, pedestry, Nazi war criminals, bestiality, whether or not Hemingway had a homosexual crush on a bullfighter, intravenous narcotics use, the Unabomber's manifesto in 8 verses, breast augmentation for eunuchs, John Wayne Gacy, anal intercourse, fuck, I did bring gay poet, Japanese pornography et al. I do feel that your work, profound as it is, think about it, would be far better suited to a publication with a keen sense of indecency, access to adequate legal counselling, and editors with a stronger constitution for the bizarre. Yours exception. Climbing from the wreckage of my mind crash, listening to gunshot sounds on the synthesizer, I understand that what I call rules, she calls considerations. One of these fairy dawn mornings, I'm going to fire up the furnace and all the pistons, get down on that yoga mat, rip off her exercise pants, kick out the posing cat, put her off point duty, knock her out of that PA squat, shove it to her hard and heavy. Work that glute, those hips and thighs, how she likes it, before breakfast, after the headstand. When the blood's still rushing and all her cells feel as if they're stained glass. Put her in the prayer position, make her know what a real dog tastes like. Ow! Call it consideration, make it a rule. Ram home the girth of public opinion to a machine girl fellatio pulse until she coughs up armistice. Manipulate her body into positions Indian rubbermen never envisaged. Make her pliable like condemnation. Fill her with liquid love and plug all the holes. Call it hydrotherapy. She'd never have it done so good. Not by Marla, Shostakovich, the 4 patron saints of Britain, or her daddy either. I like to weave her tears into guide ropes. tug her to dry dock, unfold her from me, pop out her ribbons, set her adrift on a reef made of my lies, onto a boiling sea of opportunity, with an olive branch and a pterodactyl, float her away to a system, restore, merchant. That's it. I came all the way just to read that shit to you. And I brought it my fucking self and they didn't even charge me extra baggage. Have a great Pride First.
Everything has to be practiced. Writing, living, playing guitar. And everything's new. I never thought I'd learn to write. I don't know why. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't have any formal education for being a writer. I didn't go to university. I wasn't a creative writer. I didn't actually even read a lot before I started writing, which they say you're supposed to do. And then one day I thought I wanted to be a writer, but that was when I was 47. It's a good time to be a writer.
Can't trust politicians. Yeah.
Oh yeah. When I'm writing a book, I usually have one song in my head all the time. From the churches to the jails tonight, all is silent in the world. The midnight gangs assembled, picked a rendezvous for the night. Hang on. This thing is way fucking hot. How many sheep do this fucking thing? Jesus H. Christ. Okay.
Let's give me.
This is fucking thing. Until the local cops, cherry tops, rip this holy night. The streets alive as secret debts are paid, contracts made, then vanish unseen. This is something me and Nikki wrote together on email, and it's called Insurrection Instinct, and she's reading first.
Facing off the cusp of dawn, on the eve of the Last Supper, she does calisthenics barefoot.
Thinking about burning the slice white bridge that spans the river of regularity, the serving of boiled blood.
Are they disciples or supplicants, dining unquestioningly, taking communion of spoilt flesh?
Products of a life that has no place for her, the bridge burns and all within it, under an eider down of rotten tenants.
The cloaking devices continue to demand the futility of breathing. Dissecti membrae poetae. My head on a stake outside the Tower of Drama, before I got to do what the old man failed at on the sea. My arms tied and salted on a spitbar turning, as H bets on 4th and goal and loses, and then pens a note, sublime. My legs like swans, migrating south to Cornfield Torso, like drunks and keys, tapping raven madness as the rider goes beyond, insane, in cold blood. My guts churn, spill, empty of baby's milk. Take everything but the breasts. Those puppies cost me too much, tragically, comically. One man walked on the moon, another walked on my grave, as yet another saw his own reflection moments before. Posterity next to half broke, lava, wept endlessly. One more? Dragged. I crossed the border to ease the fecundity of your feelings. I walked fearless then in skin already tainted, as your menstruation bled onto a blue tile floor, the feminine ending of the unaccented syllable.
Houston?
Which is an absolute sizzler. There you go.
By time I got a brand new hobby, seems little by time I like to play that swing. Make my daddy say too much, now time stop that swing. By time to go to bed, time to go to bed, go to bed, go to bed, time go to bed, yeah.
Mother's milk and daddy's hard on. complicit transgression in hand-me-down clothes.
Under the sign of the palest sun, full of gratitude and weeping songs, all hail the glory of the great whatever. Could you die for the blood red moon?
It's okay, apparently.
I just need the microphone so
Cultural convention, you are welcome to come. Your erection is a meal, but it could be some fun. You might be on my list, but you're not number one. The cultural convention, you are welcome to the cultural convention. There are plenty of conventions, and plenty of fun. Now, the hokey pokey.
Oh, come on. We don't need to know this. You might get more luck than Santa Claus, I reckon. I would go for the naughty elf.
Prometheus was a fool. They said it was just ancient sun, trapped by stone.
You know that Christmas has got nothing to do with religion, Santa. Have you got your diary there, Santa?
Disgrace, but if you weren't there, you'll never at the same time. Why was he holding her head when he's supposed to be mine?
Yeah, just give me no, but I mean like how that will actually go.
That was cool. Takes my happiness that I have.
Of the apocalypse. John, Paul, George, Ringo, Elvis, Janis, Jimmy, Jim, Mick, Keith, Elton and Rod. One night only, sold out, roll up, roll up. Not a room to be had in any inn, holiday, or Armada, or fucking anywhere. Mad March times 12, Daddy. They were top of the pops, number one for 52 consecutive weeks. And thus the message got through to all that rock and roll was God and it would never die. And Faith was on the TV any old time you chose it.
Rainbows and angel dust in your hair. Would you die for the blood red moon?
That's official, but no judges, gorgeous judges, Karen Treadray and Avalanche. I'm going to give a score out of 10 for content. Word. That's what we're after, the word. So, we need some words. Audience, a show of hands. I'm going to pick somebody to give us a word. Okay, don't be shy, because I don't want to be doing all the fucking words myself. Alright, over here.
Jelly.
Jelly.
No.
Nope. She's got a second word. She has to take the second word. Somebody.
Rock.
Rock.
David Essex was a rock. Rock on. Hey, did you ever see Rock on? I went to see that when I was 14. I should have been 18, but I sneaked in the back with a load of bad boys, because I was a bad boy at the time, and we all did Bride and Rock. And talking of Bride and Rock, there was also a time when I worked in a rock shop. So all the sticks of rock had Brighton written right through the middle. And every time I walked down the street eating a stick of rock, I knew I was from Brighton. I knew I was from Hard Stock. I knew I was from Graham Greene, Clockwork Orange, Brighton Rock. I knew I was the man in Brighton. But it turned out that I wasn't the man in Brighton because I rocked. And I wasn't a stick of rock with Brighton written all the way through it. I was Teri-Louise Kelly with fucked up written all the way through it. And then one day I was in Brighton, sitting on the pier a long time after I'd been from Brighton Rock, and I met a person that I'd never met for many years, and they said, "You're pretty fucked up, man." And I said, "I'm not a man anymore." But I did come from Brighton and I did rock one time. But now, I will rock you. So, it all turns out in the end that everybody rocks. We all have a stick of rock with our name written through it. And some of those rocks say fuckwit, and some of those rocks say wanker, and some of those rocks say made in England. So, yeah, I was made in England, and I do fucking rock. And I do come from Brighton. And Brighton fucking rocks, thank you! And it was full of milk. And when I asked him, "Where do you get the milk from, Joe?" He said, "My mother." And I thought, yeah, I should be having a jug like that. And then I looked around and I thought, what is a jug? Is it a quart pint? Is it a metric Babylon? I have tequila. A jug of tequila. How much is in a jug of tequila? Somebody shout out. Help me.
6 quarts.
6 quarts.
Not enough.
Well, that's a lot of fucking tequila to drink. And I've done it. And still walked out of PJ O'Brien's. No, I didn't. I didn't walk out of PJ O'Brien's. I fell over the planter. And when I went back in, the guy said to me, "You're intoxicated." And I said, "I can spell that fucking lot." And he said, "I don't fucking give a shit, man." Jug of beer. And I was still playing pool, still shooting 8-ball, still playing my numbers, still winning, still rocking, still rolling. But in the end, when you're laying over a jug of tequila on East Terrace, you're pretty fucked.
I quite like the blurred face shot. That looks. I really like that actually. It's blurred, but I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Countess Bartoli.
Yeah.
They wound up walling her up in her own castle. Oh, English, you gotta love it.
I know I'm going to talk about Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, that'll do it. I just have to adjust the camera slightly so that...
I'm ruining myself.
Alright, I can get you in the cross, and the top hat is just under, so your body's dividing the frame, but if you... Well, I can maybe just get a touch back here.
That's it.
Yep, that's it.
I know, it's terrible. It's such a prima donna.
You're more bloody work than I am.
No.
Jesus.
Tape it over here.
I wasn't even doing anything.
Just need to find the tape.
I don't know where the tape's gone.
Who would want to be an actress?
Being an artiste.
Alright, whenever you're ready.
It's gone already.
Yeah.
Oh, nobody fucking tells me.
Or what do you think when you're ready wins?
Oh, fucking duh! You're not the one getting burned with a candle, are you, Robert? Whatever.
Like to be.
Like to be. Yeah, hello. Shh. This is the story of how I got to be the queen of the damned. It was a very long, long time ago in Prague. It was a horrible place in a horrible time. You know what it's like to have to live 300 years, to see the 19th century and the 20th century, and God forbid the 21st century, the rise of the evolution of technology. But we invented it. We invented it for you, so that we can live forever. And now we're cursed by it. Nothing changes in the human condition. Nothing changes in my condition. I go on forever, long after you and your children and their children are dead. I'm still damned to wander this godless city, to marvel at human technology and human ingenuity, where they know nothing at all, and all they're doing is killing themselves. But death is such a wonderful thing, something to aim for. This is how I ended up writing about being the queen of the damned. But of course you won't believe it, because to you it's just fiction. Just a book you can share with your friends. Just a book where I learn it. Just a book where you can put yourself in my position for 1.5 hours or 340 pages, depending how fast you can read, or whether you can read at all, because after all you are human. But you can have your e-reader and read this wonderful book, and you can fall in love and out of love. But there's more. There's a dark side to being immortal, and the dark side is the three-headed dog. The three-headed dog who guards the gates of hell, which you cannot pass, especially if you are. To do that, you must make amends. You must atone for the centuries you've lived. You must save one human being, liberate one human being from the purgatory that is their mortal existence. But how is my question? Which one do you pick? There's so many. How do you improve one human being's life on this filthy rock you call home? Is it to kill them and make them the same as you? Or is it to give them something else, to make them believe in religion? Anything at all. There is no answer. And then there are the beasts. The ones who stalk us. The werewolves. You think they don't exist? You think it's Lon Chaney Jr.? It's funny for you when you're walking in your room. It's not funny for me. In the end, we all die. Even the vampires in the immortal past. Just a long, long time after you. One of those actors who've played the vampire. From Bram Stoker's book. Dracula, who never even existed, wasn't even a count. Transylvania may or may not be a place. And yet you go hunting for them. You look for them in the dark corners and the long shadows. But they're not there. Where they are, you don't find. This is the strange irony of the vampire. What I ask you now is that you stop believing and start praying. And then I came across this lady who I sent a short story to. She was in Australia actually, and she sent me a little slip back saying she was going to publish it in a magazine, and it was the best piece of writing she'd seen in 30 years of editing that magazine. And I thought, wow, the best piece of writing, and I was really pleased. And I was so pleased from that, I sat down and wrote Sex, Knives and Bullet Bows in... It took me 3.5 months to write it. Yeah, 3.5 months to write a book. So I sent it to Wakefield Press. Here. in Adelaide. And they took her. And she read another one. And she said, I've been doing this job for I don't know how many years, looking at submissions from all over the country, all over the world. And she said, your writing is some of the best writing I've ever seen, but you'll never be famous, and you'll never sell any books. And I thought, what the fuck? So that one came out in 2008. Yeah? 2008. It was the most reviewed book by a first-time author in Australia. Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Canberra. It's not really big, but it's still a place. Perth. Except Tasmania. Tasmania didn't like me. I don't know why. Fuck Tasmania. I had my second book, which was a New Zealand book, from the time I'd lived in New Zealand. When I was writing that first book all those years before, I remembered what I had to do for a job, which was working in a backpackers. And I wrote a story about it. And Wakefield Press published that too. So 2 books in 2 years for a first-time author. Well, second-time author then. People thought I was showing off. Yeah. And nobody likes to show off, especially in Australia. They like to knock people down to size. So you can publish one book and be the darling of the media, but if you do a second book a year later, they don't really want to review you, because then you're showing off. So none of that really bothered me, because by the second book I was already sick of writing. What is the time, Brian?
No idea. 2:22, it's not off.
Wow.
Damn lucky.
I said to you to make sure you turn your fucking phone off.
Yeah, I got this on tape too now, so you know you're fucked
you're
now.
covered, Robin.
Can't hold this over me anymore.
Yeah. Beer, I think.
You need a beer.
Scotch. That's your makeup.
It's coming off.
That's what we're going to look at tomorrow.
Provided it's not, if you activate it. Adobe, they prevent multiple activations of their software, so they may not be able to activate it.
File and just put adobeactivation.com 127.1.1.1 adobeactivation.com, and it'll stop any activation thing coming from your computer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fucking pirates.
That's how you
Interesting.
That's how you beat Adobe.
Well, I'm so glad I got you saying that on tape now.
Can I have a copy of that?
I read that on the internet. I've never done it.
Yeah, now he's putting the fucking disclaimer on.
Yeah.
You're supposed to say that before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, otherwise it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let me repeat all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get it the first time. I want another angle on it.
Try Pirate Bay. That's where all the information is.
Yeah.
Life story.
Just for the fun of it too, I'm going to record it on my little handheld unit as well, get a low quality dub. You see, he carries all of this, I carry this.
A mouse?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot my mouse.
It comes with all the equipment,
I
eh?
got a hub with it as well.
Yeah.
How much was this?
Actually, it came with the bag. It was included in the bag, free.
Wow.
Nice. Cool.
What's a hub?
Oh, it's a USB port.
This is here. If we were in the back, then you'd be able to open that.
Just, if you ever want just simple sound recording, I'm quite happy to come around with one of these little handheld units and record it. So if you do shoot footage,
Yeah.
you can overlay the audio onto that.
Okay.
And the audio is good. It's not this, obviously, but it's good enough for like simple
Yep.
demo material. If
Yep.
you're interested in more.
Beautiful.
And obviously, there's no cost in that because it's just Teri-Louise is doing one, Jenny's doing one, but recorded at the same time. You mean just the one?
Oh, just what we can do separately, that's all.
Oh yeah, two.
Okay.
This is a bit about... What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
It's too big.
That's like to sit on
Do you want me to
some
hold
nice
it or
high stool.
something?
Another
Do you
one.
use it like a boom mic? I can hold it.
Would be to bring it up and then flip it around backwards. I wonder if it's in the hole. That's the thing. It's just you're looking down anyway.
Yeah.
Let's just see work if I've broken it somewhere down the track. Great.
I don't think I can use it on his resume page.
Yeah.
No, mate, yeah, friends and influence people.
Monogamous pornographer, how pathetic can you be?
That's an oxymoron, isn't
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So do we want to test?
Yep, 1, 2, 3.
He is giving... Yeah?
I think so.
He is giving Lulu something to get her by, a little package, and she'll have to pay for it, I guess, after she's gotten by. The guy eyes me with a detached interest dealers tend to have for potential clients. In the dealing world, both to many and to few clients cause economic problems. Lulu doesn't introduce me, and it's not as if she needs to, or that it's bad manners or something, because I really don't need to know a snake oil salesman like this emotionally crippled reject. He might think I'm some kind of undercover narc, I guess, pretending to be Lulu's companion near compass. Or the way he side glances me and then dismisses me as superfluous to his dealings.
Okay, just wanted to test it, that was all.
This is a poem from the volume Girls Like Me, and it's called The Night Before My Execution. All appeals denied, all stays overruled, all words said, all tears cried, all the lies underlined in red for no redemption. I'm thinking I may have missed out on a point or theorem, or serum by not getting Joyce, Fitzgerald, even Mahler. Though thankful I got Bukowski, and Orwell, and you can't get them all right. And the priest comes and asks me to confess and seek the forgiveness of his God thing. I decline. No time for theologicals, no get out of jail card in a stacked deck. I read some of Ham on Rye again. The sun doesn't rise, it only sets. As the clock ticks and the metronome counts the beats, the left. And the juice goes on. The tender kiss of vaults, and they come noisily, and I wish I'd chosen the Italian, not the Thai last night. One final dice with spice. But the indigestion cure awaits. I see walls, floors, lines, too much white light. And they ask for my last words, and I can think of thousands, though finally I choose the most appropriate. And I say in a clear voice, the end, full stop. She has those glazed eyes, like Brie on Angels, though Brie ain't a dopehead. Because Charlie wouldn't tolerate impure chicks. Yeah, she says, we'll do okay with that. We'll go tomorrow, huh? You want it? No, I tell her. Great, she draws. You got any smokes? No, I tell her. Can you lend me one? No, where have all your Lou Reed albums gone? I'll give you something for one. One what? Smoke. No thanks. Did you shoot Lou Reed into your arm too? Yeah, Lou's happy in there inside, you know. Fucking junkie. Don't be mad, sugar, come to bed. I ain't pointing my coat, it's way too fucking cold. Sure, baby, whatever you say. So the following day we go to the Greek. He is no Dionysus. No, he is an arrogant son of a bitch. But he takes our shit, which is mostly my shit, and then gives us a ridiculously low-end loan amount. But before I can laugh, Lulu is leaning over the counter whispering in his hairy ear. Then she goes to the cage door. And then he lets her in, and then I'm in the shop alone. And I stand there running the numbers. They all come back to zero. A guy comes in carrying what looks like a canary cage and a pair of swinging flippers. He smiles at me. I smile back, no harm being friendly. He asks, where's the shit, man? I shrug, it ain't my concern. I stuck the key into the ignition, pumped the accelerator once or twice, turned over the engine, and after 4 almighty coughs and belches, the bitch bucked right back to life, like the American-made tin pot horse she was. God bless Detroit. I was moving, hopefully in the right direction. I was heading home to where the sun never shone, and you couldn't get shot, and where the good doctor was always in. It felt okay, soothing, like being drawn to a polarized lodestone of your own device. I looked for signs, or planes, or buses with JFK on the front, any damn thing. Until I was totally lost and I pulled up to a yellow cab being driven by some swarthy-looking ethnic with a yellow mohawk, and shouted across my front seat if he knew the way to JFK. He shouted back, yeah, and then he drove away, the goddamn lunatic. I tried again at the next light, and the Italian taxi driver eyed me curiously, and then asked me if I liked Paolo Rossi. Sure, I told him, great striker. He smiled and said, you follow me, okay? So I did. I trusted in God, the yellow cab company, and Paolo Rossi, which was how I got to JFK.
And I knew there was no turning back now. I hit the long stay, why the fuck not? I assumed that Rusty's junk would be there some considerable time. I am nothing if not a decent citizen. That done, I tossed the keys into the trunk, then shut it, problem solved. Hey ho, let's fucking go. Take me home to the place where I was born, just so long as it isn't West fucking Virginia. The fuck the missing angels.
I have an unsettling inability to say no. Maybe I'm too good-natured, I don't know. But whenever it came to the straight choice, somehow I always said yes. Yes, fits nicely into the American dream anyhow. Everything and anything is possible in America, and no matter where in the world we are born and raised, we understand that the word no doesn't exist in America. So yes, I really screwed up this time. I screwed up because I am screwed up. In that respect, I share an affinity with America and its screw-ups. I ought to...
So there I was, publishing poems on Facebook. And one of the poems I published, David Ross sent me a message saying, I published this and that. I think your writing's fucking great. I want to publish you, mate. Easy. And I thought, yeah, why not? Do it, man. And then he said, have you got a long form book? And I said, well, I've got 2. And he tried to get the rights to them, but the rights are tied up. So I said, I've got this book called American Blowjob. And he said, it's not about what I think it is it? I said, well, the title pretty much speaks for itself. Only it's got a twist. And the twist is, when I was in America, I was a boy. Because that was 1984. And when I was a boy, I did boy things. And girls wanted to do girl things to me because I was a boy. And because I was weak-willed, I let them. And that's basically what the book's about. It's how I got my brain sucked out of an appendage.
So who wants to read the next page? Come on, Shelley. Oh, you're so shy in Adelaide. Fucking hell. Yeah, come on. Page 2. Harley, Harley, Harley.
Hi, I'm Harley.
Give it up for us.
Hi, Harley! Thank you, motherfuckers. Alright. Page 2. If so, had I been convicted? Yes. If I'd been convicted, what of?
Sodomy. My mother's pig.
Smitty!
Smitty!
What-o?
Spit roast!
Notorious. Marco. At least 3 psychiatrists. I am peculiar. I run to. That's always been my way. And by running, I don't mean jogging around the fucking park for an hour each morning. I mean...
Keep reading. You read from the book.
What?
I think everyone was pissed off with my American dream, the way I kept harping on about it. No one thought I'd actually ever go. Not even me. But shit, the stockbroker had done a hell of a lot of work on my behalf, whereas I'd done practically nothing other than lie on forms. I hadn't made his job any easier, so maybe I thought I...
What's that?
So she can give it to me!
What do you have to do for my book? So you can get it. Let me help you. You're welcome. American Blowjob!
Hello, Perth. Sunny Perth, wow. I'm going to read from the book. It's an old book, but it's here for sale today, so if you want to buy it, we could maybe afford fucking dinner tonight. So. This is a breakup poem. My last girlfriend became a junkie, but she was also an artist. and this is called The Liquid Life of Artists. Art, she said, is above and beyond all else. I considered this statement while she flung dirty underwear into a suitcase. Maybe she was fucking right anyhow. When she took to hard drugs, lavish promiscuity and Miller's lost weekends with libertines, she put it down to art. Then she left no forwarding address, sent me a postcard sometime later with Lautrec in Toulouse on it. I remember that his name was Henry too. She went way, way down, subterranean and far, far out. Enterprise. Wrote later that she hit a Homer, escaped the Iliad. She reminded me of Joyce, only with bigger tits and a better ass. I'm going to dedicate this last poem to Janet Jackson. She stayed with us when she came to Adelaide. She's a big star in Adelaide. Let's hear it for Janet for doing the poetry. So, I don't usually dedicate poems, but this poem is actually in an Australian poetry organisation, an anthology next year, and it's just being made into a movie in Adelaide. Can't you believe? Poem into a movie. It's called The Mortician's Kiss. This love is thermal, waves of sensation under constellation covers, saturates and penetrates. The wolf's pelt shelters stolen lovers from separation. Out on the desolate plantation where everything fell, husks of past encounters wither, the dead hang in trees, lanterns shedding light into the corners of possibility. The journey never ends nor begins. In another time, another place, remember this bite, this touch, these words. Burn down your reputation and expectations. You are immortal. You transcend time. Start by accepting the mortician's kiss of life. Thank you, Perth.
Welcome to the Super Show. I am your host, Greg Jefferson. Tonight, my guest is the author of the newly published book, American Blowjob. Please welcome to the show, Teri-Louise. Thank you, Terry, for joining me. Or shall I call you Teri-Louise?
Thanks for having me, Craig, and yeah, either or is fine. You can call me Al, so long as I can call you Betty, eh?
I've always thought I looked more like a Brenda. So I come to understand that your book had some problems here in the US.
Well, I had a few, shall we say, unique problems.
How so?
ABJ, as it's fondly known, is what I regard as my misfit book. That is, it simply didn't fit anywhere. Who knows why? Who cares why?
Well, I would like to say that it's an out there kind of book.
In a nutshell, I guess it's my Catcher Come Fear and Loathing book.
Now that it is, you've said that gender and genre are one and the same. Do you care to explain?
Well, what is set? I mean, can't anything and everything be shifted? I think I should be able, as an artist, as a person, to do exactly as I please with my body, or art, or body art, or my alcohol consumption level, or anything damn well else I please.
Thus, making you decide to change your gender, yes?
Firstly, I didn't change it per se. I simply corrected it.
Righto. And this change, how was it taken in the literary world?
The publishing industry likes a freak show, or a good writer, or a bad writer, or someone who's controversial. But even when you serve that up to them on a plate, surprisingly they still run a mile.
How do you think your work and your image are perceived in the mainstream world?
They'd like to see me tied on a stake, go insane or just go away. Those two traits are big fat no-nos in the mainstream arena. Perception is in the eye of the beer holder, or vodka holder, and insofar as I'm concerned, I couldn't give 2 wet weekends in Britain for what they think.
Very well put. So, can you tell me, how do you see the future of publishing unfold?
I think the generation you need to capture as an artist wanting to influence anything is, I guess, the 18 through 30 demographic. And you won't find those guys standing in a bookshop. So I think publishing for outsider, alternative artists, writers, will almost certainly materialize through the wires or waves.
I couldn't agree more. The book is called American Blowjob, and it is the latest work of Teri-Louise Kelly.
I went to a swingers party in Boston. I didn't swing. And then I met another guy called Randy. Randy at a swingers party, it's so American. And Randy was more than a 3-time loser, he was probably a 12-time loser. And he wanted me to go to Syracuse and pick up these high-ranking swingers who were high up in the Ku Klux Klan or something, and bring them back down to somewhere, I don't know, Baltimore, somewhere like that. So I said, why not? Which is how I got involved with driving swingers around the northeast of America. But then I got waylaid with a girl who was 1/16th Cherokee Indian. And I've always had a thing for girls in fur coats. Which is how we ended up back in Massachusetts. Sleeping in a barn with no money. And how she had to go to the truck stop and give head to buy us bus fare. I said that was fine as long as she didn't swallow. I gotta draw a line somewhere. So we got the bus fare and we went back to New York City. And then I caught a plane home. And when I got to immigration, the guy said to me, where the fuck have you been? And I said, America. Because I thought it was a funny thing to say. He didn't think it was funny, but the immigration officials in America have no fucking sense of humour whatsoever. Where the fuck did he think I'd been? Yeah. So he said, we're going to deport you. I said, I'm leaving anyway. Don't go to the trouble on my behalf. He said, you know you can't come back. I said, come back when? He said, I don't know, 3 years, 7 years, ever. I said, I don't really want to come back. I don't even like it. Then they put me on a plane, and I went home. And when David read this book, he said, I don't know what to think about it. It's got literary merit. But then again, so does the back of the shithouse door. Which is true, there's a lot of good shithouse doors around. But he liked it, so he published it in ebook. And it's a good fucking book, actually. But David's right, and my editor's right. I'll never be famous. I'll never be rich.
And don't take dope. And believe in Jesus Christ and buy punctuation, because Jesus Christ would have bought it. Okay. Should have bought the air guard too, Rob. I want to be when it gets dark, eh?
Italian chamomile. Yeah, I found it a bit unusual too after London.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
Mainly in suburbia around Leeds.
It's not London, that's for sure. I'm kind of getting where it comes from. If you've got a punk mind, or you're going to get punctuation. How long before it wears off?
6 hours.
Yeah, acid can be taken in a spiritual context, but you never get on the camera, I guess. Right, and like TLK, there's a lot of people who tried to capture it.
I could be Jesus Christ. No, it's possible. Just nobody would know.
Jesus. He has a cross on his third eye.
Who?
Jesus.
I need to live on planet punctuation.
I could say something, but I won't.
Go to the toilet.
What do I need to
the
go to the
whole
toilet
thing
for?
morphs into
Yeah,
these
alright.
are normal tarot cards. Those ones, yeah. Yeah.
What I am.
Collision of beliefs, styles, attitudes, and energy. Storm Angel.
I am the Storm Angel. Peace, man. I brought my weather with me. I don't know if there is such a thing as bad orgasm. Sister sodomy. Now that's why I wrote that book. Now I remember. What's this?
I just bought that from the other day.
Three Witches of Blackwood.
Yeah. Paper and I have pencils.
What are we writing?
I have no idea. You wanted to write. She gets a pencil and you get the
Oh, a tree.
I'm going to spill this. To lean on, that's like.
Try and leave it out the end of the ground. It's not poetry. And your nose is running, you're stuck in the middle of fucking God knows where. Looking at somebody holding a baby. Train spotting. The baby just freaking
Yeah,
out.
I know.
Across the fucking ceiling and all that. Is it cold or is it just me? Just, yeah.
No, it's
Are we sitting outside or are we inside?
No, we're sort of.
Set fire to something, a tree, I don't know.
It's like we're in a tree.
Where are you,
house.
God? What the fucking hell it smells like? Don't say it to it.
This is only a bowl. So I'm going to have a bowl.
Oh.
Should we be having any of this?
Yeah, join.
If you feel like it, you should have it. That's
The
an
fucking
evil
egg.
laugh, Rob.
I like it. This is
Papers.
Jesus Christ. Lamb of God. It becomes perfectly clear now. The whole lifestyle is, yeah. I see it all. Jesus. Seen it out. That's just a car. It's got children, yeah. You're all fucking night with that. Even a cup of coffee, Jesus Christ. But I did see, I don't know what I saw.
And I think unless you're a narcissist or an egotist, poetry and open mic poetry, it's a nerve-wracking affair. You have to drink to get through it, and I spent the last 3 years I've been basically drunk. I haven't, I've lost days, weekends, working hours just to write and read poetry and to get no financial reward. So for me it's not a great big area in my life anymore. I'm sure it will continue and other people will come along, but I don't really want to stand up and read it anymore. I've done it. I've done all the events there were to do. I did.
Connection dilates, focuses my pinprick mind on the goose steps to heaven. Theology collapses, art relapses, enter synapses. Recreated as a synthetic synthesis.
I like that people love me, but I don't like when they send me declarations of love. A publisher publishes your book, a newspaper reviews it, half a dozen people buy it. Big fucking deal. So the question still is there hanging in the air, what makes a writer? What makes a writer? Narcissism. Why else would you write?
Complete This pandemic of sensory shutdown leaves one still standing. So I unload the visuals and cast off the lines. Touch. The scars born of caesarean section. Touch. The rift. We're exposed. Belly up. Dark shift nudges oblivion.
We write because we all want people to read what we've written. How many books do I have to publish before somebody says, Teri-Louise Kelly's a pretty fucking good writer?
Remove the thrust from Abyssinia, which British arms have removed, and you see today's almost exact war position, barring so far the thrust from Asia.
You know, the book of Daniel was written more than 2,000 years ago, but it foresees clearly events at the end of the present age, the momentous days in which we are living. Pyramid prophecy, in which I have much confidence, shows a great spiritual awakening in our race, starting from about the day. I believe this date will mark a real turning point in our troubled age. Studies of the time cycles we have been working out since the arts enable me to foresee a remarkable event on March 11, the date of Hesse's triumph.
Boyfriend's gone. Goldfish is dead. Mum's kicked you out. And you're off your head. What's the point of life? Why do we live? Why do we die? What's life give?
Is it a goer?
Oh yeah, it's total trash, believe me.
That's exactly what we wanted.
Hi, honey, I'm home. Oh, for fuck's sake, not another poet. How many more are you gonna kill?
I told you I'm going to kill them all, or I hate her poem. Go, Tony.
Hey, sister, that's a red witch. You're in big trouble this time.
Red witch my ass. Let us see her cast a spell on me now. You can stop.
I thought she'd be lighter being a fucking bedroll.
No way, Mama. It's all those lentils. They weigh a goddamn ton. Okay, Mama, let's cut up this bitch.
Wait, the eulogy.
The eulogy? That better not be a goddamn poem. I hate poetry.
It's a limerick. White Rasta Gal was a poet. Her words were real bad, don't you know it? She dreamed Munch's scream, swallowed absinthe and cream, and was butchered for her bloody sonnets.
Hallelujah! Nice bloody, no, that's good. You just squeeze the blood out. You get drips. Be grateful. Roses are red, violets are blue. I never liked your poetry. Never liked you. Goodbye, poetry girl.
Fuck, I ran out of time. Poetry, that was my crime. They killed my words, cut me up. But worse things happen at sea. Look at all the poets here, getting ready to slam for the poetry killer, queen of the damned.
And remember, kids, you write poetry, I'll kill ya.